Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, I'm going to talk about what the top string and tensions are for the top juniors and college players. Stay tuned. Hey guys, looking for a stringer? Is it tough to find a stringer near where you are? Didn't I tell you about Direct Tennis? I've been telling you guys about it for like years now. Check out directtennis.online, find a stringer near you that's convenient and easy for you to drop off and pick up, or they can come directly to you. Now, the new from Direct Tennis is their Pro Shop. You can get their latest and greatest equipment now, like the new Clash, the new Pure Drive, the new Whiteout version 2, all from directtennis.online. Get it strung and delivered directly to you. Check them out at directtennis.online and get your tennis directly to you. All right, guys, as you know, in the past few weeks, I strung at Kalamazoo for the top boys in the nation, the top boys 16 and 18-year-olds in the nation. Yes, literally the best 16-year-olds to 18-year-olds that we have. And then a couple weeks later, I strung at the Battle in the Bay Classic in San Francisco at the California Tennis Club, where we actually had the best, well, a lot of the best collegiate players in the nation. So, but what are the differences? I mean, you have your 16-year-olds, you have your 18-year-olds combined for us to string, and then you have your 18 to 22-year-olds. Now let's start with tensions here. Let's start with tensions. I'm looking at my list here from what I did. We'll start with Kalamazoo, actually. So Kalamazoo, if you've watched that video, I did 70 rackets over there. The lowest tension I did was 43 pounds. The highest I did was 55 pounds. That's a good range there. It's like 12-pound range. At the Battle in the Bay Classic with the college guys, lowest tension I did was 46. Highest I did was 54. So 12-pound range also. Back to Kalamazoo. So I'm just going to call them the high school kids, the great high school kids. Average tension of everybody I strung, the 70 players, 50 pounds, 0.2. So 50.2 pounds. On the college side, 51.6. So not a whole lot of difference, literally 1 pound difference. Now let's take a look at some of the types of popular strings that they used. So looking at Battle in the Bay, I strung 117. 83 of those were the men. So I'm only counting the men. Out of the 83 rackets that I strung for the men, the top string was ALU. So Babolat ALU Power. 21 were ALU. The second was RPM. So Babolat RPM, I did 17. Torbite came in third with 19. And Polytour Pro came in fourth with 9. And obviously there are other strings like Hyper G in there, 4G. There was a Lynx Tour, some combos with Strike and one confidential. So out of the ALU RPMs, I'm just combining all the gauges though. So I'm just talking really about ALU, like as in the broad scope of ALU and the broad scope of RPM, because there was a couple RPM roughs in there. There were ALU roughs in there, Torbite that were soft, and the rough version of the Torbite too. So top string for the college guys was ALU. Now let's take a look at the high school kids. Let's say at Kalamazoo. So a little different perspective here, guys. The top two strings, there was a tie here. The top two was Hybrid G at 15, Polytor Pro at 15, RPM at 11, and ALU with 4. So that's interesting. You see a difference in that, you know, the college players seem to be using, I want to say slightly firmer strings, because Hybrid G is pretty soft, Polytor Pro is pretty soft, I mean, compared to ALU and RPM. So you're seeing that the kids are starting off, you know, with wanting something a little more absorbent, something that, you know, caters to the softer impact. Maybe they're getting or wanting a little more power and spin with that softer tension and trying not to risk their arms. Yeah, that's very interesting. So you're looking at the top 4, which is, you got 30, 41, 45. So about half the strings were of those 4 strings. There was obviously other strings. I had Mach 10, I had Hawk, I had Torbite was represented, Confidential, Cyclone, Black Code, Polytor Strike, but so it was a little more broad of a spectrum in terms of the high school kids. So, I mean, they were from all over the country, so it just depended upon maybe the academy they came from, their coach, or what they're comfortable with. But you can definitely see that these strings are softer. I mean, the tensions were similar, but the strings that they were used were definitely softer just by looking at them. I mean, Cyclone soft, right? Hawk is soft. So that's really interesting. I wonder when these kids from Kalamazoo go to college, will they stick with that string, or will they actually graduate to something firmer when they get bigger, stronger, faster? I would, you know, hopefully I keep doing this. I mean, obviously it's a privilege, but it's also a lot of work. You know, in my, you know, 3-week stretch, 3-4 week stretch, it's, you know, like 300 rackets in 3 weeks. So let's see if I can, you know, keep doing this just to see if they do go to firmer strings. But, you know, did you learn something from this? Let me know. I mean, I think the trend is for, you know, the younger kids to go with something softer, because if you started young, hopefully they started with a multi, graduated into a soft, thin poly, and then when they start breaking strings more often, they graduate to a thicker but soft poly, and then see if they're bigger and badder, they would go to, you know, like the firmer stuff, you know. But, you know, it'd be interesting to know. Let me know if this helped you. I know a lot of people out there are looking for that softer, more powerful, more spin that holds tension string. And I think a lot of the manufacturers are trying to make that for you. All right, guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.